Okay, here it is. Mark Johnson Debra Broz, Wunderkammer. I'm going to try to narrate this and show you the work, so hopefully it works out pretty well. This first one is a piece of mine. It's just called The Curtain. And I'm going to crouch down here and show you what happens if you peek under the curtain. As you might be able to get an idea, there's not anything there. I have noticed since I've been coming back here that people have been moving the curtain. I guess they can't resist. This next one is a piece by Mark. All of his work is untitled, so you're just going to have to deal with that and figure out what you think about it. And this is a piece of his as well. This show has a bit of a boat theme, and so he had made this flag before. We've got a lot of velvet and string and boats in the show. So there's the other side. Let me back up a little bit. You can see half of a canoe here, set up a little bit like an altar. That's one of our installation pieces. This one's called Shelter. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see some of the detail. Obviously it's half of a dilapidated canoe. And there's a velvet carpet here in front. So you can kind of kneel down like a little shrine. And there's a few things here we've placed inside. And then this is just the inside of the canoe. And you see here, it says backstroke out to sea, which was an image that we had been considering from a musician from here named Ray Johnson, who was last seen backstroking down a river. So that's the whole canoe. It's completely held up by this block of wood that's in here, and then the ropes around bind it all together. And so then we put some dirt on the floor to conceal the edge of the canoe. And so it has a little bit of a trajectory forward, as you can see. So then behind it are these two wooden X's and a pair of oars, which also belong to Mark, although I provided him with the oars. His dog distressed this one for us. See some teeth marks in there. And so, for the artist statement for this show, I'd said something about a fabricated system of symbols, and the oar and the boats and the dirt and the velvet and the carrots that you will see at some point are all symbols for things. You can make of them what you will. This is a little piece of mine. It's a tiny little map, or pieces of a map inside of a jar. And it's actually a Missouri map. So if you can see, we're looking at Concordia right now. And if I was to shake it up, which I won't, you would maybe see another familiar town. This next set is a piece called Grimaces. These are mine. And so there are all these papers with the zippers glued in like mouths. So there's one. And it's a little bit gaping, which I think is interesting, like a funny face. And there's the one below. That's the first one I did. And then here's the mouth of the third one. It's kind of like it's eating the other two, or yelling at them. And these are all zippers I found. I think some of them came from a box of scraps from home. And then some of them came from some other boxes of scraps that I dug out when I lived here. Here's another series of marks. These are little drawings on scrolls. So a lot of them are typing and editing. And you can see they're kind of moving with the air in here a little bit. Here's the next one. Oh, and so this one says carrot, which you can see, of course. But of course, it's the whole proverbial follow the carrot scenario. And figuring out where you want to go and what you want to do with the carrot. And then if you happen to look up, there's the carrot kind of drifting there on a metal rod coming out of the wall. Just about, it's about 6.5 feet tall, so you won't see it unless you're looking for it. And here's the last one of Mark's scrolls. And then here's another piece of his. An untitled typewriter. We talked quite a bit about what the words we write mean. And so this has something to do with that in a way. The next piece here is a piece of mine that I call the family. I assume the big one in the center is the parent. And maybe the one to the left is the other parent. But they're all made of well-found objects. 2 reels of straight pins that I just unrolled. And I think they'll have a little bit of personality. This was an edging off of something I found. It had all that nice loose thread. And this one is another reel of straight pins. And then this one, obviously, is a guitar string. I feel like this member of the family has a lot of wound up energy. And this one on the end is the one that has neurosis. Has a brain, little stringy brain with little pins attaching it to the wall. So that's that series. You kind of have to personify them a little bit. And then they do seem like family. Okay, so out of what we just saw here, I'm going to go back and give you the installation view of this one side of the gallery. So there's everything we just looked at. And now we're going to take a look at the other side. So these 4 boxes here are collaborations that Mark and I put together. Each of us started out with 1 box, manipulated it in some way, and then we switched boxes and manipulated them again, and we ended up with these 4 pieces. This stake right here with this pink string wrapped around it actually came from the line that Mark used for the perimeter of the fence around his house. So we used it here to make a perimeter around our boxes. So these are all untitled. They're about 9 by 9 inches. So this one has a little, one of those little people for train sets in it. I made him a blockhead. It's kind of walking there. In a strange sort of theater. And so the next one here, it says home on it, and it has a little